Hey everyone, we're in the zone, National Flood Experts Project Spotlight Series. Very excited for our conversation today, talking with Will Hancock, principal of Brazos Residential. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'm really excited for this conversation because this is a project that was, just rapid fire, kind of right place at the right time in terms of the timing when we had our conversation and when the property was actually renewing. But before we jump in, tell us a little bit about yourself and about Brazos.
Yeah, so Brazos was founded by myself and my partner, James, a little over 2 years ago. We focus on middle market, multifamily, workforce housing across the Sun Belt. So kind of Texas all the way out to North Carolina, with our focus of really buying, stuff that was built in the 60s to, mid 90s. We currently own roughly 4,000 units across the Sun Belt. When we formed this venture, our goal was to really become a top 50 owner by 2030. We're rapidly, growing, underwriting, and buying more assets now.
That's fantastic. Oh, it's great to see the growth. And this project, River Glen, in Garland, Texas, for those not familiar, is just outside the, kind of the Dallas metro area. In fact, it's an area we've done a lot of projects. Funny enough, we know Garland very well. But this property, what you guys purchased it maybe 18 months ago,
Yeah, right around 18 months ago.
had a flood requirement for a couple of the buildings. I know you guys fought off a couple early on with the lender, but these two buildings just kind of persisted. And, we met and got back in contact just within 2 weeks ago or less.
Yeah, literally like 2 weeks ago.
And so this property was renewing at the end of the month here, December 23. And these are scenarios we see all the time. So, obviously the goal was to see what cost saving solutions were possible. And, as fate would have it, we had a home run from, square one. So tell us a little bit about your experience working with our team.
Yeah, so I'll give a little bit of backstory because I think it helps quantify the value you guys provided. So we, being self-starters, have a good team of people who are able to work on, what we think are achievable tasks. Started basically right after close, so 18 months ago, trying to get these two buildings out of the flood zone on our own, right? So fast forward 18 months later, we have worked on, getting elevation certificates, trying to go through the LOMA process, do all the red tape and all the stuff. So it took us 18 months and we were still unsuccessful with getting what we needed to get done, which was get these two buildings out of the floodplain so that we weren't having to pay $10,000 a year straight to the bottom line for this flood insurance. What we couldn't get done in 18 months, you guys were able to get done in just over a week. And, in perpetuity, save us from having this property in the, flood zone. That on a quantifiable basis saves us $10,000 roughly per year. But more so, we don't plan on owning this property forever. And if you look at how much $10,000 to our investors, just from a cash flow perspective, if you put a cap rate on it and look at how much $10,000 creates in value saved, we're starting to talk, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run, which I think is really the value that you guys provided. Also, we're in an economic time where multifamily is, experiencing taxes, insurance, interest, all these things going up. So when we look at a really tight budget as it is, to be able to put $10,000 back in the coffer and do it in short order, it's a huge benefit for us, our investors, and the potential sale in the future so that they don't have to worry about it. It's already done. It's one less thing to check the box for these guys, which is huge.
Yeah, the fact that it automatically transfers to a buyer, makes it very seamless. You don't have to even think about it. And, this is something that can help in the marketing and the future listing of the deal.
For sure, there's some people out there who just won't buy a property in a flood zone. Like that's just, they don't want it to affect their master insurance policy or what have you, that would just exclude certain buyers from our pool when we go to market and sell the deal. So it's a huge impact for us.
how would you say this has affected or changed, the way you look at acquisitions in the future or your underwriting strategy?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great question. So post getting this done, from a screening basis of when we're looking at deals, this is an extra lever we look at now pulling from a value add perspective, that if there is something that is questionable, that we like the property, it works how it is, but does it have the ability to, get out completely, partially, or, different levels to impact our insurance risk? That's something we're looking at from the jump before we even offer on a deal, utilizing you guys' services to kind of review some of that stuff and give us, quick feedback of, hey, I think this makes sense. Maybe there could be some savings here, so that we can kind of, put ourselves in the best position to win a new acquisition. As well as, we're now looking at deals that are on the fringe that were like, is there a big value add component with us being able to get something out of, a flood area where we do create a lot more value? Like here, $10,000, great win. But there's some properties we look at that all of the properties in, this zone, or the insurance burden is much higher, where it could be largely impactful to a larger scale property.
Yeah, 100%. The earlier in the process that, you have someone like our team review the project, then the bigger the ripple effect is. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to this from day one, but I'm glad that we got to it in year 2. So that way we really reduced the impact. And, just to give a little more context, this was a project that was able to be sent through our expedited channels with FEMA. And so getting this approved, within a matter of days really allowed us to have some time for you guys to go to the lender, get the mandate removed, and then to not have to renew this, at the end of the month. So, very proud of our team and the execution, and we appreciated the swiftness of your team as well. It made the whole project very very streamlined. So for
Yeah, I
other
can tell you, we were anticipating paying for flood insurance at the end of the year. I was like, look, these guys are, I'm sure they're good. They're experts in what they do. We spent 18 months trying to get this out. There's no way they get this done in a week. And when I got the email and the papers showing it and we sent it to the lender, I mean, we literally got this released from you guys getting the assignment, me signing the engagement, to the lender removing the requirement in under 2 weeks. And we had holidays in here, a lot of other stuff moving around. So the fact that you guys were able to get that done with FEMA, get it recorded, and get it where we didn't have to renew, I mean, that was, huge.
No, thank you. What other advice would you give other investors or operators like yourself, in running into a flood zone?
Yeah, I would say there's more than one way to kind of skin the cat. It's not just black and white. There's other options that your team has kind of presented out. We're already starting to look at some of our other deals that, maybe wouldn't be able to be removed completely, but maybe there's some things that can be done there that are more cost saving on how much insurance you would actually need to buy. And I would say it's worth a review of your entire portfolio, and it's worth reviewing, any acquisition that you may make, just because there is a clear-cut, definitive way that you guys as professionals that follow this niche can perform, that we as operators just don't have the skill set to do, and to do it in a timely basis. And these things are impactful quickly, right? It's not, when we think about dealing with government agencies, I think about deals we buy that have, government agencies involved, and the time frame, happens in months, not days. So having that relationship and being able to drive through, utilizing you guys' service just makes sense from the jump.
Well, we look forward to being a tool for future projects. And, one other point just to add here at the end is that, there's so many different ways to create cost savings for these flood zone properties. Changing the flood zone is only one of many. And so that's what makes it to where really any property is a candidate, because you really just don't know what you're going to find until you dig into the details. And, that's what our team really loves to do, and find creative ways to solve these problems. So, thanks again for bringing a great partner. We look forward to future projects together. And thanks for your time today.
Likewise, I really appreciate you guys and the team effort to get it done.
Thank you.